জয় রাধা মাধব কুঞ্জ বিহারী। গোপীজন বল্লভ গিরিবর নারী। যশোদানন্দন ব্রজ যশোদানন্দন ব্রজ যমুনা তীর বনচারী। যমুনা তীর বনচারী। জয় রাধা মাধব কুঞ্জ বিহারী। গোপীজন বল্লভ গিরিবর নারী। জয় রাধা মাধব কুঞ্জ হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে হরে। হরে রাম 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 হরে হরে। Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Jai Radha Madhava Kunja
Hare Krishna. So we would like to welcome all the participants for this most auspicious association of His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Guru Maharaj. Every week on Thursday we are hearing from Guru Maharaj 8 to 9, and we are continuing the seminar on stories from Srimad Bhagavatam. We all can hear very attentively. At the end there will be a short quiz, so the devotees can participate in the quiz. Hare Krishna.
And there were so many guards, they were actually checking everybody who should be allowed to enter into the city. Sudama, seeing that, became quite afraid. Oh my God, will they allow me to go in? Because he was seeing that so many people are being refused. No, you are not qualified to enter. You go back, get out. So finally, Sudama thought, let me give it a try. Maybe seeing me as a poor beggar, they won't allow me to go in. But when he approached the gatekeepers immediately offered obeisances to him and said, please come in, come in. So this is again the Vedic culture. One is not judged by his external appearance, but his internal purity. So he was taken, he was told, he told the guards that he wanted to see Krishna, and he was his friend from his school in Sandipani Muni's ashram. So the gatekeeper very respectfully escorted him to Krishna. And immediately after seeing Sudama, Krishna, who was sitting on a throne, just came out of the throne and said, Sudama, my friend. And Krishna embraced him and took him and made him sit on the throne. Krishna himself washed his feet. Rukmini Devi was fanning with a chamara. And they started to speak about the early days. Sudama, you remember one day we lost our way in the middle of the forest when the torrential rains and storm came in, and we couldn't find our way back to the ashram, Guru's ashram. So we spent the whole night in that forest, climbing up on a tree. Two of us were just staying there. And then our Guru became so worried, he himself came looking for us. So in this way they were just reminiscing their days in those schools. And then Krishna asked, Sudama, did you bring something for me? Because it's the custom that when somebody goes to meet somebody, he carries something as a gift. Sudama was feeling very embarrassed, seeing Krishna's opulence. And how could he tell him that I got some chipped rice for you? So finally, he just, quite hesitatingly, he brought out the chipped rice. Krishna said, I just brought some chipped rice for you. Krishna said, oh, chipped rice. I didn't eat chipped rice for so long. Sudama, thank you so much. Krishna took a bite. He said, wow, this chipped rice is so delicious. When he was about to take the second bite, Rukmini Devi caught his hand. So, my Lord, just by taking one bite of this chipped rice, you have offered so much good fortune, so much boon to this person that I do not know how to provide that. I am already all my wealth has been exhausted. So if you take any more, then I do not know how am I going to cover that. So Krishna couldn't. So just one handful of chipped rice that Krishna took, so Rukmini Devi Mahalakshmi felt that she has been sold out. Sudama came back to his village, and while coming back, he thought, my God, my wife asked me to ask Krishna for some help, financial help, and I completely forgot to ask Krishna. And then he thought, anyway, I had a wonderful time. Maybe she'll get on my case when I go home. Maybe she'll shout at me. But anyway, this meeting with Krishna was so fulfilling, so satisfying. So when he came near his village, he felt that he must have come to a wrong place. He couldn't find his hut. He saw a huge, beautiful palace. He saw so many servants, maidservants, beautiful garden, and so he was thinking, I must have come to a wrong place. But then he saw his wife appearing to be like a queen, dressed like a queen, looking so gorgeous and beautiful. She was coming towards him. So this is how Krishna reciprocates when his devotee offers something to him with love. So anyway, as I was telling about another Brahmana story, one Brahmana came to Krishna in Dwarka, and she was carrying a letter. So he delivered the letter to Krishna. The letter was from the princess of Bidarbha province. The daughter of the king Bhishmak wrote to him a simple love letter. Krishna, I have fallen in love with you. So please claim me. I have given my heart to you. This heart I cannot give to anyone else. So if you do not come and claim me, then I have to give up my life. My father, being forced by my brother, arranged for my marriage to Shishupal, arranged my marriage with Shishupal, but I don't know anyone but you. So Krishna read the letter, and Krishna told the Brahman, okay, tell her that I'm coming. And Krishna then made arrangements just to go himself, alone. And just a little background, Rukmini never met Krishna before. Rukmini simply heard about Krishna. That also, when Narad Muni came to her father's house, father's palace, her father was asking, not in front of her, she just happened to hear it. Her father was asking that, look, my daughter is now of marriageable age. So Narad Muni, you travel around the world. So can you please tell me who is a suitable candidate for my daughter? So Narad Muni then started to tell her about Krishna. He described Krishna's beauty. He described Krishna's glorious activities, Krishna's strength, Krishna's wisdom, Krishna's generosity. And just by hearing about Krishna in this way, Rukmini fell in love with Krishna. So falling in love with Krishna is not difficult. If we properly hear about Krishna, we can't help but fall in love with him. So in this way, Rukmini fell in love with Krishna, and in this way, she started to consider Krishna to be her husband. And her father was in favor of Krishna, but her brother was actually demoniac in nature. He wanted her to be married to Shishupal, because their consideration was that what is Krishna's family line? Who is he? Is he a Kshatriya? Is he a Vaishya? Now, actually, we can't make out who Krishna is in reality. Is Krishna this or Krishna that? No, is Krishna Brahmana, Krishna Kshatriya, Krishna Vaishya? No, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And sometimes they used to have all kinds of assessment about Krishna's nature, which often, like Shishupal especially, was extremely against Krishna. Shishupal was Krishna's cousin, Damaghosh's son. And Shishupal, from his childhood, he was born with 3 eyes. And everyone thought that it was strange and inauspicious. So at that time, his mother, Krishna's aunt, was informed that when this child is placed on the lap of someone who will kill him, then his 3rd eye will disappear. So she was placing Shishupal to whoever came on his lap, just to get rid of his 3rd eye. And then when Krishna came, she never thought of placing him on Krishna's lap. But somehow when they're playing and things, like he happened to sit on Krishna's lap, his 3rd eye disappeared. So his mother knew that he will be killed by Krishna. So she requested Krishna, please don't kill my son. Please forgive all his offenses. Then Krishna said, okay, I'll forgive his 100 offenses. Each offense that is bad enough to be killed, I'll tolerate 100 such offenses. So anyway, that was the condition. Right? Shishupal was blaspheming Krishna whenever. He would even say things like, Krishna's father is fair complexion. Vasudeva is fair complexion. Krishna's mother Devaki is fair complexion. How come he's black? You can well imagine what it implies. So this is how they would look at Krishna. So this way we can see that anybody can see Krishna the way he wants to see him. And anyway, so Rukmi was Shishupal's friend, and he also was opposed to Krishna. So when that consideration was there, when Bhishma told that Krishna is a possible choice, Rukmi immediately rejected that. Nothing doing, not with that personality whose background is not known. So this is how the animosity developed. And so Rukmini fell in love with Krishna, but she could not marry because her father was totally controlled by her brother, because he was so powerful. And So anyway, Krishna came. In the meantime, the arrangement was made that she'll get married to Shishupal. All the kings have assembled there, and the marriage ceremony is all set. The arrangements have been set, and she's impatiently waiting to, and the Brahmana is not coming. She is thinking, why is it taking so long? And finally the Brahmana, when she is going out to the temple of Ambika, Devi's temple, before the wedding, in a big procession, right before that, the Brahmana came and gave her the report. Krishna's return, Krishna's reply. Don't worry, I'm coming to claim you. So she is now all ready, going to go to Ambika's temple. She went to the temple in a big procession, the soldiers in the front, then the gentry, then the ladies, and then in the middle, Rukmini, dressed in the most gorgeous way, ready for wedding. She was looking so beautiful that when she came to the assembly, just seeing her beauty, the Kshatriya kings fainted. Many of the Kshatriya kings fainted. So Rukmini, she went to the Devi's temple, and what did she pray to the Devi? Please allow me to be with Krishna. All I want is Krishna, and I do not want anything but Krishna. So even if we go to Devi's temple, what should we pray? That we can get Krishna, we can offer ourselves completely to Krishna, and we do not want anything but Krishna. So then, she was coming now to the assembly, where she will choose her husband. So that is the Kshatriya way of getting married. Although in a way, the arrangement is made, but still, the assembly is there. The girl has the right to select her husband. That is a custom with the Kshatriyas. The princess has the freedom or liberty to choose a husband. And all the kings have assembled there, practically from all over India. All the kings have assembled there. And Shishupal is there, Jarasandha is there. Shishupal surrounded by his demoniac friends. Incidentally, who is Shishupal? In Jai and Vijay, who became Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, Ravan and Kumbhakarna. And now in Dwapar Yuga, that Ravan is Shishupal. And Kumbhakarna is Dantavakra. So, Shishupal is all surrounded by his demoniac friends. And Rukmini was wondering what to do. Where is Krishna? Because now the time is practically came to the point when she has to offer the garland to somebody. That means accepting him as a husband. So when she was approaching towards that assembly, then all of a sudden a chariot just drove right by her side, and Krishna just picked her up onto the chariot and drove the chariot. So all the kings, they started to, it has been described, Krishna taking Rukmini was compared to a lion taking his prey from the midst of the jackals. So, and so all the kings got very, very upset that cowherd boy is stealing a Kshatriya bride. It's a disgrace. So let's attack. So they all jointly attacked Krishna. And Krishna single-handedly fought with all of them. In the meantime, when Balaram got to know that Krishna left like that, alone, so suspecting some danger, Balaram brought the army, Jadu army, and he also was coming. So now Balaram also joined Krishna. So Balaram was facing with his army, with the kings, and he defeated them. When the news reached Rukmi, he said, I take a vow that until I return my sister killing that Krishna, I am not going to come back to this Kundingram. I am not going to come back to my capital. So saying that, he took one Akshohini soldiers and went to confront Krishna. So Krishna was riding on the chariot with Rukmini. So Rukmi came from behind to attack him. And these warriors, before they get into the fight, they actually have a verbal fight. So there was a very interesting verbal fight. Anyway, I won't get into that. And Rukmi took his bow and shot 3 arrows simultaneously. Krishna cut those 3 arrows. Then with his 6 arrows, he cut Rukmi's bow into 6 pieces. Then he struck Rukmi in 8 different parts of his body with 8 arrows. With 4 arrows, he killed the 4 horses. With 2 arrows, he killed the charioteer. And with 3 arrows, he cut the shaft of the flag of the chariot. So then Rukmi, with his bow cut to pieces like that, he picked up the mess to attack Krishna. With his arrows, Krishna cut the mess. So in this way, whichever weapon Rukmi was picking up, Krishna was cutting them. So with his horses dead, charioteer gone, charioteer dead, Rukmi now climbed down of his chariot. He took his sword and shield. Krishna cut his shield to pieces and he cut the sword to pieces. So then he caught Rukmi and he was about to cut off his head. Rukmini pleaded, please don't kill my brother. Please spare him. So Krishna said, okay, I won't kill him, but I will do something that is almost as good as killing. What is that? He shaved his head. Half of his head was shaved. Very, very embarrassing. And took off his clothes. With the armor and royal robe. Tied him up with a rope. With his own cloth, actually. He tied him up. So at that time, Balaram, after defeating all the kings, came there. And Balaram chastised Krishna. Krishna, is this the way to treat your brother-in-law? After all, he is your wife's brother. And in front of your wife, don't you really have any consideration about her feelings? After all, he is her brother. So Balaram released his bond and let him go. So Rukmini did not go back to Kundingram, the capital. He stayed there in that village called Bhojakpur or place called Bhojakpur. So this is how Krishna got married to his first queen, Rukmini. Now also it reminds me of one interesting aspect of Krishna's pastimes which I have not discussed, which is actually the most important aspect of Krishna's Braja Leela. And that is Krishna's dealings with the gopis. Sometimes people say that these dealings of Krishna with the gopis is immoral. But we have to consider what is morality, what is moral and what is immoral. Like, if a proprietor enjoys his property, then can there be any consideration of unjust or unfair or immoral? So now, who is the proprietor of everything and everybody? Krishna. So if Krishna enjoys his own property, is there anything wrong in that? That is why Prabhupada asked us repeatedly to be very careful before we enter into Krishna's Vrindavan pastimes, especially Krishna's dealings with the gopis. That is, before we enter into that region, that topic, then we have to be completely clear that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If we have that understanding clear that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then we'll have the perfect understanding of the whole situation. But the trouble will start if we don't recognize Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And on top of everything, if we recognize that Krishna is the enjoyer and everyone else is meant to be enjoyed by Krishna, that understanding has to be very, very clear. The problem is when we think that we are the enjoyers and we try to see things in that light, then the trouble starts. So in order to make that point clear, I just will consider Krishna's Braja Leela with certain clarity. Like we discussed about Krishna's Braja Leela, but we did not discuss about Krishna's dealings with the gopis. First of all, who is Krishna? The Supreme Personality of Godhead. And who are the gopis? The gopis are Krishna's pleasure potency. The personification of Krishna's pleasure potency is Srimati Radharani. And all the gopis are Radharani's expansions. And so Radharani's actually business is to give pleasure to Krishna. She's the pleasure potency. All of Krishna's pleasure, all of Krishna's joy is coming from Srimati Radharani, the arrangement of Krishna's joy. So, and Krishna used to have some very wonderful exchange with his pleasure potency, Srimati Radharani. Like apparently, Krishna is not married to Radharani. But does it matter? Marriage is a social approval for a man and woman to get united. But does the Supreme Personality of Godhead need such social approval? On the other hand, it seems that these gopis are married to some other personalities, other cowherd boys. But in that respect also, there are two considerations. All these cowherd boys are Krishna's expansions. Just as all the cowherd girls are Radharani's expansions, all the gopas are Krishna's expansions. So if these girls get married to these cowherd boys, are they married to Krishna or not? Because they are Krishna's expansions. And okay, if that doesn't satisfy us, then there is another consideration. Do you remember for 1 year when Brahma stole the cowherd boys, Krishna expanded himself into those cowherd boys? So that year, when Krishna was all the cowherd boys, Krishna told Nanda Maharaj that this is a very good time for the girls to get married. So they all got married to those cowherd boys. So who are those cowherd boys? So in this way, no matter from whichever angle we look at it, we see that everything is perfectly all right. But then also there is a consideration. Anyway, I'll come to that, and with that I'll end the class today. With that understanding. So Krishna has some very, very strange ways of meeting Radharani. Okay, here also there is a consideration that it is said that in loving exchange, in loving dealings, when there is an obstacle, that it makes the love become even more stronger. Love intensifies when there is an obstacle. In that respect, anyway, so at least theoretically we understand that. So when there is an obstacle, the intensity to be with the other beloved becomes stronger. So that is why this consideration. There is an obstacle. Radharani is married to somebody else. He is the son of Jyotila. His name is Abhimanyu. And so Radharani is married. But again, who is Abhimanyu? Abhimanyu is Krishna's shadow. The personification of Krishna's shadow is Abhimanyu. So apparently, Radharani is married to Abhimanyu. But what happens that because Radharani is married, it seems that she cannot meet Krishna. So then what happens? The intensity of love becomes stronger. And say for example, in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, there is one description that Radharani, Krishna, one day Abhimanyu was going to some distant place. So he told his mother that, "Mother, I'm going to some place on business and I'll come back after so many days," and so forth. So mother blessed him and said, "Come back safely, my boy." And so Abhimanyu, when he was gone, Krishna assumed the form of Abhimanyu and came to the house. Jatila said, "Why did you come back so quickly, my son? You said that you'd be gone for so many days." So he said, "Yes, mother. Actually, I was missing you so much. Then I thought that I'll do that business some other time. I'll just come back and be with you." So Jatila was very pleased. I have such a wonderful son. She was feeling as if her love was pouring out of her heart. "My son, go home, go inside, take rest." So Krishna went inside. He was with Radharani. And in the meantime, real Abhimanyu came back. So Jatila said, "Who are you?" He said, "Mother, don't you recognize me? I'm your son." So Jatila said, "Yes, you're my son. I'll show you what kind of son you are." So she picked up the broom and started to hit him. And he started to cry, "Mother, mother, what are you doing? Don't you recognize that I am your son?" So then Jatila felt, "Oh, then that one is Krishna." So in this way, Krishna would play his pastimes, and they were suspecting Jatila, Abhimanyu's mother, and Kutila, Abhimanyu's sister. They suspect that they're convinced that something is going on between Bahu and Krishna. So they just suspect that, they can't catch Krishna. So many occasions they practically caught them red-handed, but still could not really catch them. Especially Jatila, she was just waiting for an occasion when they can catch Krishna and Radharani together and to show everybody. So one day, Jatila heard something, Radharani is talking to somebody in her room. She went close to the door. She started to eavesdrop. She's convinced, yes, it's Krishna. So very excited, she said, "Today I'm going to catch him." And as she opened the door, she saw Krishna just jumped out of the window and ran out. She was feeling so bad, so I caught him practically, but still I missed him. But then she saw that in a hurry, Krishna forgot to take his flute. The flute was lying on the bed. So she said, "Today I caught you." So she picked up the flute with one hand. She caught Radharani by one hand, dragged her to the courtyard, called everybody, and started to very, very eloquently describe what she has found today. And Radharani, with her eyes cast downwards, she was shedding tears. And Kutila started to dramatically describe everybody. So at that time, Purnamasi arrived there. And Purnamasi said, "What happened? Why are you all gathered here like this? And why my Radhika is shedding tears?" So Kutila started to describe what actually she found. And Purnamasi started to laugh. She was very upset. Kutila was very, such a serious matter and you are laughing. So Purnamasi said, "Don't you know that last night there was a shower of flutes?" And there are flutes everywhere in Vrindavan. Come, Kutila, let's go to your bedroom. And on her bed, there are 3 flutes. Jatila, let's go to your bed. There are 9 flutes. Although Radharani's reputation was saved, but Radharani was feeling very sad. She said that no matter whatever people say, after all it's true that I am in love with Krishna and I can't stay without Krishna. Now what to do? This time I'm married to somebody else. What's the point in maintaining this body? Let me just give up this body. So when Radharani was thinking like that, Krishna could understand. Krishna was on the lap of Mother Jashoda at that time. And Krishna considered what to do. Now Radhika is thinking like this, a dangerous situation. She may even commit suicide. So Krishna, all of a sudden Krishna fainted. Not only fainted, there was no sign of life in his body. So Mother Jashoda screamed, "Look, what happened to my baby?" So everyone came running and found that Krishna was lifeless, lying on the lap of Mother Jashoda. So Mother Jashoda cried, "Nanda Maharaj, Nanda Baba, please go and find somebody who can treat Krishna, find a doctor." So Nanda Maharaj immediately ran out of the house, and as he came out, he saw a doctor. Like in the Vedic culture, by the dress you can make out one's occupation. So he asked, "Are you a Vaid? Are you a doctor?" He said, yes, I'm a doctor." "What happened?" He said, "My son fainted and there is no sign of life in his body." He said, "Don't worry. I can even make a dead man alive." So he went and checked Krishna. It's a very serious situation. There is one way to revive him, to cure him. Otherwise the condition is very, very serious. So everyone was very eager. Tell me, how can it be? How can he be revived? How can he be cured?" He said, "You have to bring a bucket full of water from Jamuna." So everyone felt very relieved. "Oh, bucket of water from Jamuna? No problem. Jamuna is just nearby. We'll go and get water." He said, "Yes, bucket full of water, but in a bucket that has hundreds of holes in it." So then everybody said, "How can you carry water in a bucket that has hundreds of holes in it?" He said, "Yes, it is difficult, but a chaste woman can carry the water in a bucket with hundreds of holes." So Mother Jashoda said, I will try. He said, no, no. If the mother brings the water, that won't work. So different girls thought, oh, a chaste girl can bring the water. But nobody succeeded. All the water drained out. Then the doctor said, serious situation. It looks like there is no chaste woman in Vrindavan. Let me make some astrological calculation and see if there is some chaste woman here. So he took a chalk and drew some lines and some diagrams on the floor. And he said, yes, I found 2 persons. Who are they? Who are they? Jyotila and Kutila. So everyone got very excited. They went and ran to Jyotila's house and described the situation and told what happened and how the brides said that they are the chaste women in Vrindavan. So they are very happy to hear that. Yes, this is a real bride. He really knows the absolute truth. So they very proudly came there. Kutila said, Mother, you're old. Why should you take the trouble? I will just go and get it. So she proudly picked up the bucket, walked up to the river, dipped the bucket, and as it lifted it, all the water drained out. Jyotila was so upset. He said, you're a disgrace to the family. Drown yourself in Jamuna. Don't come back home. Saying that, now she picked up the bucket. Walked to the river. And you can well imagine. You can well imagine what happened. So now the bride said, I'm in a real serious situation. What am I going to do? How to revive this child? Anyway, let me see if I can find anyone else. He made some calculation again. I found another name. Who is that? Who is that? Radhika. Jyotila and Kutila started to laugh. Radhika? Mother Jashoda didn't pay any heed. She just went straight to Radhika and told her everything, what happened. Radhika said, Mother Jashoda, please, I am already embarrassed beyond anyone's imagination. Everybody knows that I am unchaste. Everybody knows that I am in love with Krishna. Mother Jashoda said, look, Radhi, it's a matter of Krishna's life. So please come. You are the only hope. So Radharani came, very uncertain, very embarrassed. She came with her head bending down. She picked up the bucket and with shaking steps, unsteady steps, she started to walk towards the river. She dipped one bucket and she lifted. Not a single drop of water fell. The bucket was brought to the Vaid. Vaid very happily took some water from that bucket. He chanted some mantra and sprinkled it over Krishna's body. Krishna opened his eyes and sat up. So this is how we get to see who is the most chaste woman in the entire creation. Srimati Radharani. So this is how Krishna established the glory of Srimati Radharani. And the highest chastity is to be in love with Krishna. The highest chastity is to be loyal to Krishna. Okay, I have still a few minutes left, so I can now narrate another episode. So this one is clear. Krishna's relationship with Radharani is the most auspicious thing. Krishna's relationship with Radharani is establishing the highest principle of dharma. And our attachment to Sri Radha Krishna is the ultimate perfection of our existence. Isn't it? How many of you agree with me? Thank you. Hare Krishna. Okay, I'll just end the class with another small anecdote from Vrindavan that actually reveals the identity of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Why Krishna came as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna? Okay. So why Krishna came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is being revealed through this very wonderful anecdote. Mother Jashoda used to go to the house of King Vrishabhanu and Mother Kirtida Sundari. Kirtida Sundari was Srimati Mother Jashoda's very close friend. So naturally, they used to go to each other's house. So one day Mother Jashoda came. By that time Radharani was a little girl. So Mother Jashoda was very fond of Srimati Radharani. So Mother Jashoda told Kirtida, I'll take Lali to Vrindavan with me today. So Mother Kirtida said, yes, fine, take him. She's your baby also. So she took Radharani to Vrindavan, and Radharani stayed there, had a beautiful time there. Mother Jashoda practically steeped her with her affection and love. She made her sit on her lap and fed her herself, and she was always keeping her close to her. And then Sri Radharani made so many friends, new friends also in Braj. And after a few days, when she went back to Varsana, King Vrishabhanu, sitting Lali on his lap, asking, Lali, how did you like your visit to Vrindavan? She said, I liked it so much, and she started to tell all the things that she liked there. It was so wonderful. She just elaborately started to describe. But then she said, Papa, I didn't like one thing. King Vrishabhanu was alarmed. What is there in Braj that Lali didn't like? So he asked, what happened? What you didn't like there? she said, every morning Nandalala used to give prasad, distribute prasad. And there used to be a long line, big line, queue. And Nandalala used to give prasad. But those who did not have any pot, patra, he didn't get any prasad. Nandalala said, "Oh, you don't have pot? Just go. Get a pot." And that poor guy, after getting the pot, had to stand at the end of the line. And some people were so poor that they didn't have any pot. And they didn't get Nandalala's prasad. So that's the only thing that I didn't like there. So King Vrishabhanu sent the message to Nanda Maharaj. Lali just told me this. Is it true? And she was really feeling bad that these people, those who didn't have the pot, couldn't get any prasad. So Nanda Maharaj said, yes, that's true. And so she called Krishna and said, look, this is what Lali said, that this is what she didn't like in Braj. So Krishna said, what to do? Those who do not have any pot, how can I give them? Nanda Maharaj said, well, you have to consider this is Lali's consideration. So that's why Nandalala now decided to give prasad to those, even to those who didn't have a pot. Now here, interesting thing to note, in Sanskrit or in Hindi, patra means a pot. And patra also means qualification. Patrata means qualification. So here the consideration is that she saw that those who did not have qualification did not get Krishna's mercy. Therefore, Krishna decided to make an arrangement where those who don't even have qualification will have his mercy. And that is why Krishna came as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, taking this mood of Srimati Radharani. That even those who do not have qualification will get Krishna Prem. This Krishna Prasad is Krishna Prem, Braja Prem. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is distributing Braja Prem to those who don't even have qualification. And here they don't even have to stand in a queue. Just by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So you understand Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy? So don't worry whether you are qualified or not. Just be completely convinced, completely assured that you will get Krishna Prem irrespective of your qualification and eligibility. All you have to do is just accept Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. Namo Mahavadannaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurattishe Namaha.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much everyone for watching the video. We have shared the quiz link in the chat box. All the devotees are kindly requested to solve the quiz, and we are going to announce last week quiz result. At third was Yadavendra Krishna Prabhu. At second, Ashish. Oh, what is it? And at first, Gaurav was there. Harbol. You can show today's quiz. This is the last time quiz. You can show today's quiz. Devotees can just click. Okay, I will share the link again. Today's link you can start. Devotees can rename themselves like AKD. You could not able to understand. At second, Antaranga is there, and third, Gaurav. But still, a lot of questions are remaining to be submitted. Okay, AKD is at 70%. He has submitted. Correct answer, 70%. Okay, we will, the result will be announced next week. So till that time, devotees can submit. Tomorrow by today, 12 p.m., the link is open. You can submit. We will end by Guru Maharaj quote. This is today's quote. Guru Maharaj is speaking from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 51 chapter, 56 verse, ISKCON, Melbourne, on 8th April 2005. Guru Maharaj says, sometimes the spiritual master may give personal instructions and sometimes he may not. But the main thing is that one executes the mission of his spiritual master with all due respect and with a heavy heart. I must say that so many devotees received personal instructions from Srila Prabhupada. But where are they now? In many cases, those who are loyally serving Srila Prabhupada never even met him. Now, whose relationship with Prabhupada is stronger? It is through service to the spiritual master that we develop our relationship with him. परम पूज्य श्री श्रीमद भक्ति चारू स्वामी गुरु महाराज की
जय
जय।
हरे कृष्ण जय कृष्ण